Now look at that. How's that for a location and a view? Unbelievable. So this is literally just around the corner from where I was, and this is, if I flip that around, this is actually a Tosai pond. And they're all incredibly active just here, look. So this one's going to be fun, that's for sure. If you're tuning in from the last one or you're not, there's another one you can watch back on the channel. This one will be on there later as well. And yeah, feel free, guys, hit the share button. Let people know this is happening. And I didn't actually manage to share this in the or anywhere actually. I forgot to share the link for this one, so fingers crossed people get in. But look at that, completely different behaviour, look. But this is some of their best jumbo Tosai. I have two fish in here, a shower and a Sankey. Before I get to feeding them, give people a chance to tune in. So this pond here also, well, they're pretty much all Makoto's ponds up here. Actually released one of the male fish in there today. So that has got all male fish in it. Look at that over there though. Really getting the sunset now as well. And just ponds everywhere. There is one there, up there. Again, before I get to feeding that one, give a few more people a chance. Just take a stroll up here. Frogs are lively up here tonight. They're waiting to get the freak on. You look at that again. Oh, here we go, look. Couldn't really see much in this one earlier. Oh, and now, holy shit, wait till you see this view in a minute. Couple fish right there, look. One over there. Oh, wow. That's just sensational. If I keep taking this road up there, it gets to the point where it's actually private access and it is only Makoto's. This is actually public road. It's only Makoto's ponds. And he has got what is apparently one of the highest ponds in the world, Fujo claims anyway. Yeah, sensational pond that is. The view from up there is nuts. Predators, all kinds of things that can be come pondside, raccoons, obviously herons, that's what the fishing line's for, other birds of prey up here. Crazy Englishmen, they're bad predators as well. Hopefully, if the signal's all right, I can have a bit of a walk until it gets too dark and I start shitting myself that the bear is going to jump out from somewhere. Right, let's give these Tosai a bit of feed. And if you are watching, guys, hit that like button again, please. This pulls my world earlier. My Sankey was such a dominant feeder. Every time a pellet went in, it was the first one to nail it. Oh. So that shower there is my fish, one I'm very, very excited about, I must say. You know me by now, I tend to get excited about most of them. And that, look at them, look. Sankey with the quirky head pattern. That's the shower. Sankey's just there. Anyway, watch these are going to go mad for this. Yeah, there we go, look, separating off. That's the Sankey. That I am excited for. How that progressed since December when I got it has been nuts. Boom. There's the Sankey, look at that head pattern. Oh, nearly knocked my phone in then, that'll be a pisser. I'm guessing nobody watching this would say no to any of them. Sankey's right there, look. I actually bought that Sankey without even pulling it out the pond. Now when I say that, that sounds like a big deal, but trust me, it weren't cheap. So it was in one of his Nishikigoi ponds in December, and I just know full well they're on food. It's a massive pond. Good morning from Boston, USA. Good morning. It's a massive pond, they're on food. If I'd have asked him to catch it, to look and negotiate and all that, he'd have just told me to go away. That's how long I'm here for. I'm back on the 19th, just before our event. Secret Sankey Part 2 and open sale at the unit. Just slip that one in. Yeah, so I literally managed to take a picture of it on my phone, showed him it. He just kind of looked at me, gave me a price, and that's how that deal got done. I didn't actually see it up close until the trip in March when he was doing selection on the pond. God, that's fucking dreamy, that lot, isn't it? Sankey there we're looking at then. So, what I'm going to do, again, if you want to watch that more, you can watch it back later. Let's see if my phone holds up, because I am losing the light. And I fucking skid down that banking in a minute. Just beyond the car there, if I walk down, is let's see if we get a signal to it. Fucking hell, right, here we go. Don't laugh if I break my neck. There we go. Yeah, is my mud pond, the one I rent off these guys that's got our grow out event fishing this year. They've been super actively feeding. See, now I'm looking, this actually seems like more of a trek than I remembered. Anyway, I'm sure we won't mind. Probably going to blow me me guitar allowance on this as well, so I hope you do enjoy it. This might be the last time. Here we go, look. And again, wow. So what we've got here, that pond and that pond and the road that runs there is the one down to the Champion Mud Pond we was at in the last video. And that there is the pond that I rent every year. Had it for about 4 years now, I think maybe even 5. Let's continue having a walk down. This pond's full of fish. That one back there has not got anything in. I'm not quite sure why that is. You can see, look, I mean, the road's just fairly new tarmac up here. It's well maintained. Well, they've got power if they need it. You can tell I'm pretty damn high up. How's the stream holding up, guys? Is the quality decent? And again, shame on the guys, the networks in the UK, because I'm almost in clouds here and I'm streaming over 4G. I can't even make a pissing phone call back home without it dropping out somewhere. And if you're watching this and you're one of the Mud Pond event owners, we found out about the missing kohaku. There was actually slipped in later after the video was filmed, because they were in a separate tank. So no panic, told you there'd be no panic. Just sorry they didn't make it to the video. So yeah, that road, that valley down there is where I drove down to the Champion Mud Pond. So that sits just beyond those trees there. This pond down below, closest one, they've been really active. Tosai in there again. They were right up at the banking, which is nice for me to go and have a look. Not cool for the breeders, however, because when you've got fish at the banking like that, there's a chance of a predator swiping one. But I love this pond. It's really done well for me. Might have a whole new meaning to it next year as well. So there it is, guys. And if they're anything like they were earlier, these were feeding very aggressively as well. Apologies about the shaky cam. Look at that. Just don't matter what angle you hit it from, does it? Seeing the ponds in the valley like that as well, though, it's amazing. Right, here we go, look, Tosai. Lively little feckers. Obviously these went in smaller, but they're on it. Oh shit. I forgot. This is the one I went in my wellies. Bugger. Oh, sorry, I'm not trashing my trainers with mud pond water for that. However, we can see them there, look. And there is footage on, I think it was actually on the video that's already on the channel, and I've been back up again today as well, so the day 3 video is going to have them on there. Oh, that's annoying. Here they are though, look. Listen to them frogs. It's like that, but times 100 amplified down on the near the house. Jesus. Look at them though, proper active, proper happy. Mega stuff. Wow. Just don't get bored of saying it. So there we go. I can imagine what it's like for the guys who will be watching this who have fish in there, because it's just how I felt seeing those fish in the ponds. A couple of ponds I've shown you where I've got them. It is very special. See one of the drainage pipes, look. You can actually see they've got caps at various intervals, and that's how they drain them down, empty them caps one at a time. Guessing the sound difference, it's very different. I was taught this way back. It's on the lower ground ponds. So in these really high mountains, apparently the big bullfrogs, which are very problematic, don't survive up here. You don't see them. It's just a normal sort of size one. But in the lower grounds, that's where they get them absolutely spastic big bullfrogs. And they are in the koi breeding world the enemy, because the sheer amount of tadpoles they put out, and tadpoles, you know, they're going to consume oxygen. They're going to consume natural food, valuable resources. So wherever, and they do go to big efforts to catch the big ones. They actually have specialist traps for them to get them. And if ever they see spawn, they take every effort to try and get rid of as much as they can early doors. I wonder if we can see anything in that one. It's just all the little battles that are constantly being fought that you guys won't see. but it's all the efforts that go into making those special fish and to get the results. I should imagine that the breeders where these are kind of just dumped in and that kind of level of attention isn't paid are the ones that you just won't get the results on. I'll tell you one last pond I'm going to go to, because I believe it's just here. It's one of their really special, it's a really big deep pond. They used to call it the Angel Fountain Pond because they used a big sprinkler fountain on it in the past. And I did actually see a massive kohaku gliding the surface earlier. Oh, here we go, a few more ponds, look, and one that's been driving me mad, that second one down, I've got one of the favourite fish I own in my collection in there. I think I've shared it on the videos. It's a very special 63 cm Nisai Showa, that's what it's gone in as. And there's a client's in there at 61 cm. It's also spectacular. Trust me, there will not be many fish in that pond growing Nisai through to Sanzai. He's used that for as long as I've known him for some of the very best fish. He must be happy with how the pond performs. And then you see up this road, takes you this beast of a pond. And actually, quite a story to this one. I've got an old picture. Makoto's dad, who's no longer with us, Shoji Tanaka, who was a bit of a legend of the game. I actually spent my work apprentice years, or the first one, bearing in mind I spoke zero Japanese, him zero English, putting the fishing line above, over this pond. And I can actually, that kohaku, you can probably see it there, look, right in the middle, somewhere there, cruising again. Oh, there's another one. Wow, here we go, you're in for a treat, guys. Two. Kohaku there to the right as well, look. Oh, another fish here in front of me. So yeah, putting that fishing line over. The Japanese is a lot better now, Daz. A lot better. I couldn't be as independent as I am out here without it, mate, to tell you the truth. Although we've got Rie here in the team now, it's when it gets into the really complex stuff. Don't underestimate just how big those kind of shadows, how big those fish will actually be. So yeah, and at the time this pond was full of, Makoto used to breed phenomenal kind of oaky brown chagoi. They were stunning. This pond was full of those, the big ones. Oh, look at that, look. Now I know that fish is around the 90 centimetre mark, because I know it from the fish house. Yeah, and what had happened, it was just after rainy season and they'd been piling food into this pond apparently, and being chagoi, they don't know when to switch off. They'd eat and actually made themselves ill. And it was a bit of a problem. They were just working on just so they didn't obviously end up having a pond full of big dead chagoi. You can see 3 circulating in that area now. There's one actually under the feeding deck, look. Absolutely cruising. So yeah, loads of them little stories as you walk around here over the years. That pond, I don't know, this never has fish in it. I don't know why. He must not like it. Fell out with it. Seems like a waste, doesn't it? I think there's one more up there. Tell you what, last little bit, look, seems I'm here, one attempt, because I still not managed to see this shore of mine in this pond. Seen a few others, very evasive, but it's all very big high level. There'll be no more than probably 8 or 10 fish in that one I'm talking, second one. Look at that. So like I said, this was the road that I took. You just keep going, you end up at the Champion Mud Pond. See the feeder in distance, another pond up there. They're absolutely everywhere up here. Not actually seen anything in this one yet. Oh. Come on, fingers crossed. I'm gonna see her before I go home. Look at that, what a pond. Oh, what's there, look. Don't think that's something else there. Oh, this Sankey's pretty much living there in the banking. Oh shit, can I do it? Should be able to. Oh. There we go. Right, let's see if we can tempt anything. This water is, yeah, not as clear as some of the others. But there are 2 fish there, look. What happened when I fed them the other day, actually, they just got, oh, they're coming. They just actually got their heads down, and there were quite a few fish there, but they was feeding vigorously in the base of the pond. Oh, they're around, look. That's actually her. First time I've been able to, but they're doing the same, look, down in the base. Buggers. Yes, Richard, sinking food. The last thing we want, given predators and all the rest of it, is encouraging them to the surface too much. It would be their preference because it's actually easier to control, and to be honest, I've not seen it as much now. They did used to feed a lot more on the surface, and what we would have is a massive feeding ring sort of out here to keep the food away from the bank, because you know what koi are like. They'd be at it, there'd be some at there, swipe, fish gone. It's as easy as that. Let's have one more attempt. It's excruciating when you just want to see your fish and you can't. Or you just catch like that, shadow of it, a glimpse. Not having it, look. Oh, something there. What makes for a quality mud pond? They argue the clay. The water up here does seem particularly special, but there, I gotta say, look, the water. Oh, something over there cruising, look. I think it's very much opinions. Breeders, don't forget, there's not a lot of science to koi keeping here. Very much keep it simple. Everything's done by reading the environment. It's just an experience. He will know from Sorry, what's that? Oh, the bigger koi feeding on bigger pellets. Everything's generally using this. I am going to confirm it tomorrow, but I think this is a silkworm, and maybe the Akari silkworm select, because it's all I can smell is when you open the feeder is silkworm, and that's not. It's a decent sized pellet. I'd say it's only roughly around a medium size, but I think the silkworm is just one size pellet. Oh, look at them cruising there. Yeah, they get a feel for, fucking hell, that Sank is epic. See, this is what makes me laugh. I've not seen that in Fish House. I've said it a few times on the videos. If you ever wonder where I get it from, the whole stashing and elusiveness and all that, look no further. This is what I've been raised on. These lunatics. It's cultural. Yeah, what makes a good mud pond? They obviously they would argue the clay. They don't actually know. That is the point of it. There's no. But what he gets to know is how a pond performs year on year. So he trusts this pond. I know he does, because it's always had such good fishing. Up here in these mountains, obviously all of this water is formed from snow. It's incredibly pure. You would argue that mixed with the clay. It's not particularly rocky up here, so you do this amazing, it's actually not coming through on the camera, this amazing watercolour. But it can be manipulated, like I said in the other video, you know, you can turn it greener. Hey, look there. I wonder if I can get a few there, look. You know, some areas, like say when the ground's a lot more rocky, it produces a very different sort of style of water. Oh, here we go, game on. Straight in base again, they'll look at the mud coming up. So you can imagine from that, look, when they are, oh, holy shit, that's the client's shower. Wow. When they are rooting in the base, just how muddy looking the pond gets. Oh, God, that noise. Got the little shit right there, look. Yeah, they're going for it down there now. But yeah, I think with a lot of witchcraft, wizardry, fairy dust, they just get to know what they're working with and know what they can do with it, bottom line. And then it's all about the care from there. Oh my God, there's some serious shadows in there. Again, a lot will come down to how they manage that. The summers have a huge impact. So the ability to get fresh water in here sometime is really important when they're feeding the heaviest. Oh, wow. Don't forget what you're seeing in here are currently still Nisai. Yeah, so when you're feeding heavy, sometimes they need fresh water, and obviously you get evaporation. So as the water volume decreases, technically they might adjust feeding because of that. So when you have the really dry summers, it becomes a problem because they've got such high water temperatures and a lack of fresh water to keep the volume in the ponds up and just dilute things down a little bit. So they generally have to then start easing back on the food. And you imagine when the water's at its warmest, they want to do the opposite. So it can tend to stretch them out a lot. And a few years back, there was one of those summers and fish were getting harvested with the length, but lacking the body, seriously. That's the one, Richard. And I'll tell you what, pal, that's an earned right. 20 odd years of dedication now. I know that seems crazy because I'm not exactly that old, but and a lot. I was actually talking about it today. This whole thing with Fujo started with that relationship started from one email many years ago when I was 13, and that's how we end up here today. That frog is doing my fucking head in. Little shit. Right, one more bit of food and then I'm going to bugger off before it gets any darker. There it is. Right. There we have it. Yeah, look, you can enjoy a bit of my Mickey almost ramen time. And today, mate, I'm giving that one a rest. I've had the, how deep is that? Probably about 1.5 meters in the middle. Yeah, I've got the old ramen a rest today. Two nights on the bounce. Aoshima Ramen, favourite shop. Due for a change next as well. Be going to, you see, or maybe if it's in a future quiz, Aoshima, that's in Miyauchi, based in Nagaoka. Love that shop. But there's another famous one in Ojiya, Higuma. And yeah, that's crazy. I like to share the food stuff as well because I think it's such a curious part with Japan. Often when you talk to people, oh, what's the food like? The food's actually epic. The bit that always scares me, if you hear the word traditional Japanese, run a mile. It's not all sushi. If you like sushi, there's plenty of it. But I mean, when we get into the meat, Japanese beef, all that stuff, and yeah, the ramen. I mean, ramen is a way of life out here. Pretty much just like koi, the same level of dedication goes into a bowl of it. A bowl of it costs about 5-6 quid. It's nuts. But yeah, shop today I've been to is someone introduced to it, and it's famous actually, not just locally, very famous for huge portions of food. It was huge. I shared a picture on the Telegram group if you're in the look, and I had the standard size katsu curry. It was massive, and I saw two fried rices, chahan, on the side, and one was the large size. Oh my god, it was like half a football, half a size 5 football. Nuts, absolutely nuts. But yeah, nice to see. I do enjoy my food, and there's a lot of it out here to enjoy. But like I say, if you were traditional Japanese, get your skates on and get out of there. Get your makidis. Right, I'm going to shoot, folks. Got to trek back up this hill, and the last thing I want you to hear is me having a mild asthma attack. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Stay tuned. Obviously, it's the weekend, and Aaron, I have managed to bully him in to doing day 2, and then freedom back at the office on Monday, and then when he is at the office we'll be able to roll them out as fast as I got that first one out. And trust me, going to be worth the wait. Today has been fucking epic. Thanks guys, catch you soon.